Today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp.com, and I've been with them for a long time. BetterHelp is an online platform where we found that you can effectively communicate with your therapist. Now, you begin by filling out a questionnaire, and then you'll be matched with a therapist within a couple of days. And if that match isn't ideal for you, you can certainly make an adjustment there. Now, you're going to be encouraged to journal, and also they have the availability for group therapy on a wide array of topics, and I really like that. So as the need exists, go ahead and take the necessary steps to get the help that you need. And just know that BetterHelp has a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, so it indeed is a platform you can trust. There's a link below the video that will take you there. One of the most common themes that you bump into when you engage long-term with a narcissistic person is you realize what you see up front doesn't necessarily match pitch with what's going on behind the scenes. One of the things that narcissists can do, at least in a beginning time of a relationship or when they're out there facing their general public and they want admiration, they can create an image, a persona that gives the impression that they're one way when in fact behind the scenes there's a lot of corruption going on, and it's terribly, terribly disillusioning as it begins to unfold and you're the recipient of their corrupt behavior. I mean, for example, I've talked with somebody who would say there was a member of my extended family that we used to have a very congenial relationship, but over time that person got mixed up with the wrong people, and I don't even know who that individual is anymore. Their morals, their ethics are so far gone from what they used to stand for. Or it might be that's the person that you marry, and you find out as time goes on that lots of secrets have been kept. Or it could be that you're in a work setting and you've got a particular goal that you want to maintain, an integrity that you want to have, only to find that there's a lot of hidden lack of ethics that's going on behind the scenes. It's like, I don't want to be associated with this. Or it could be that you have a friend who's latched on to ideologies that causes that person to be hateful and mean and contemptuous, when in fact you thought, we used to have a very loving and kind and mutually respectful kind of relationship. I mean, the possibilities are endless. There's a corruption that sneaks into that personality that may not have been there early on, or maybe it wasn't as strong, and then it whittles away, of course, at the confidence that you can have in that relationship. Now, I want to pull back, and I want to put this in the perspective of a different kind of an angle, and then we're going to come back and figure out what this corruption is all about. Now, first, there's a common term that we use in psychology that describe who a person is and what makes up their personality, and we refer to it as your self-image. It's a very well-known term. And when we talk about your self-image, we talk about how you see yourself and how you want to determine how you're going to present yourself to other individuals. And basically, you make certain assumptions about who you are and what makes sense and what's going to benefit you going forward. Now, in the best case scenario, hopefully, as you were down in your developmental years, grade school, adolescence, early adult years, and then beyond, your sense of self-image was built upon having a sense of psychological competence. I want to make sure that I'm the kind of person that manages my emotions well, that I handle myself in a way that's stable and steady. And if I see some things that are not in that category, I want to learn how to go into that direction. And then in addition to your own psychological competence, you want your self-image to be such that you say, and I'm going to have to coordinate with other individuals, so I need to learn how to view myself in such a way where I harmonize and blend well with other people in a mutually gratifying kind of way. This would mean that you would learn to trust in who you are, that there would be a certain kind of responsibility and reliability that you would draw upon, and also it would require you to discern where you fit with other individuals, which means you need to have a certain empathy and appreciation for other people's differences. So when you have a healthy self-image, it means that you would have all sorts of checks and balances. on the inside. For example, when you're angry, you can decide, I can still be decent in the way that I manage that. Or when you pursue your options and your pleasures and your preferences, it's like, well, I want to do so in such a way where I don't have to keep secrets. I want to be confident in my way of doing that. If you feel like you have to protect yourself against other individuals who are unsavory, I want to do so in such a way where I'm not going to be mean-spirited in reverse. In other words, I want the best version of me to come through. My image of myself is such that says, I stand for decency. Now, this implies or this assumes that you're willing to ask questions like, who am I? What do I stand for? How much of myself should I reveal? How am I going to respond when adversity or rejection or confusion comes along? What am I going to do when I have interests that may not necessarily match pitch with the interests of other individuals in my life? So as your self-image grows and matures, hopefully you're going to be a person who says, I want to contribute well to other individuals. But then here comes that corruption factor. Corruption is defined as your willingness to become devious and dishonest in the pursuit of power. The corrupt person, as they have their self-image, it's like, well, I define me as somebody who doesn't want anybody to know what's going on behind the scenes. In their corruption, they will shift in their beliefs. They may have said they believed in certain things that are right and wrong, but they'll shift in those beliefs in such a way that allows them to have influence that gets them what they feel like they're entitled to, and it allows them to pursue selfishness. In corruption, you wind up allowing depravity to gain a foothold in your personality. And when I say depravity, it's the dark base side of your relationship, of your mannerism. And that becomes central to who you are. And so we can see that corrupt individuals, as they pull together what we would refer to as their self-image, have decided, I don't need all of that goodness and decency on the inside of me. I don't define myself that way. I define myself by whatever works for me. And so you're going to notice this then when you are in conflict with that person, or when there's performance on projects and tasks that need to be coordinated, or when their helpfulness is required, or even in something as simple as you watch what kind of entertainment preferences they prefer. They're going to show you in those kind of moments, this is who I am. This is how I define myself. I'm about to illustrate what it means to be me. In other words, their self-image comes through. And as the corruption, the dishonesty, the meanness, the harshness, and all becomes more and more prominent in that individual, what they're revealing is about their self-image. Well, you know what? I decided a long time ago that honesty doesn't work. At least it doesn't work for me. I've also decided that being superior is far more important than being caring. I'd rather be superior over you. I don't care about you. Or they've also decided, if I have to be a pretender in order to get whatever I want in the moment, I'm willing to do that. If it means keeping secrets and telling lies, that's how I define myself. That's me. And then they're also revealing, you know what? I have quite a bit of bitterness inside my soul. There's things about this world in front of me and people and their needs and their desires and their preferences that just don't really go well for me. I don't like folks, and I'm just going to live for me. And if other folks hurt because of my preferences, that's how I define me. And so lovingness, being loving and kind and agreeable, it's like, nah, that doesn't really suit how I want to be. That's not what my self-image will maintain. And then as you're watching all of this, you're going to start feeling more and more perplexed. But I thought at one point there was at least some cleanness, but corruption has in fact taken over. And their sense of correctness, their sense of rightness, their sense of ethics has just been compromised greatly. What are you going to do? That's the dilemma that so many people struggle with as they're engaging with that narcissistic individual. Well, what you can't do, let's just say that, is you can't say to that person, "You're corrupt and something is dreadfully awful." I don't fault you for wanting to confront them about that. So if you feel the need to do so, there may be a time when that would be necessary. But yes, it's okay. It's reasonable for you to let your concerns be known, but it requires you to then ask, okay, as I'm witnessing this in someone else, is there anything in me that has become corrupted because of my association with that corrupt person? In other words, where am I and what am I going to anchor down on? And frankly, I'm hoping that as you examine another individual who lacks, for example, ethics or morality, you can ask yourself, well, what do I think about goodness? Is goodness just a duty? Is it something that I'm supposed to do? Or is my goodness a part of wisdom that I'm trying to apply? Or in conflict, that corrupt individual can be so mean-spirited and harsh and impossible and I mean, to the point of being sadistic sometimes, just enjoying watching you squirm in pain. What do I think? Do I believe in civility and decency? And will I anchor myself in that? Or what about when I see somebody that is a mistake maker and they differ from me? Do I feel the need to diminish that person like the corrupt individual? Or can I still show a form of acceptance and tolerance despite the fact that we are not on the same page? I don't want to manipulate, even as I have been manipulated by others. I want to prioritize authenticity as opposed to just posturing to try to look good when in fact behind the scenes there's a whole lot of garbage going on. I want to make sure that even as I seek my own personal gain, I'm doing it not at someone else's expense, but in a way where I and other individuals can gain along the way. Now, the narcissist, when you talk like that, they'll either say, I do all that, or they'll say, I don't care. But here on Team Healthy, I'm hoping you can decide, I'm going to show a regard for who I am. My image of myself is that I want to be a reasonable person. I stand for DRC, dignity, respect, and civility. And if you, the narcissist, find that to be very difficult to do on any kind of steady basis, think what you will. But I need to make sure that I'm connected with individuals who are not only not corrupt, but who stand for decency. That's the only thing that my image of myself will allow me to be. I don't want to be associated with someone who's living in a cesspool. Okay, this is kind of a tough topic, and I know that sometimes we have to look at this. I appreciate you allowing me to talk about these issues with you. I hope you find benefit. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so, and we'll keep more videos coming to you. Now, you know that I have my sponsors, and you've already heard about some of the sponsorship that I have. As the need is there, seek out the services that we have that help support our work and our efforts that we have here. In addition, you know that I have on my website, I have multiple resources. My courses, which are the videos that have at least 25 teaching videos with handouts and all. My webinars that are 90-minute PowerPoint presentations. We have multiple articles and my books, and we have plenty of resources on the website. So as the need is there, avail yourself to all of that. Okay, corruption exists, and narcissists, part of their corruption is they sometimes, at least up front in the beginning, they begin thinking, well, I want to create a certain impression that I'm a nice person, but over time, that just becomes less and less important as their dark side takes over. Be aware of what you're dealing with, and then make sure that as you examine what your image of yourself is going to be, it's like, well, I'm going to have a sense of decency and cleanness, not because I'm just going to be some sort of moralizing, finger-pointing, judgmental person. I don't want to be that person. I want to live with wisdom, and I want to live with decency, and most importantly, I want to live in a way that allows for love to flourish. And when that happens, I'm hoping you can think, that's the way that I'm going to find peace. I'm committed to it.